And we are back, the episode that just doesn't want to see the light of day. This is attempt number 5 to try and get this episode done. So many different tech issues, but we are finally here, the start of the Season 4 playoffs. It's round 1 against the Philadelphia Flyers. Now, obviously, the outlook for the playoffs changes. Brad Marchand's going to miss Game 1. Austin Czarnik out for the remainder of the season. And we're coming up against a pretty damn strong Philadelphia Flyers team. They have some underperforming players, but no mistake about it, they could absolutely knock us out in the first round. Steve Mason, still their starting goaltender, 30 years old and 87 overall. 248 goals against, a 918 save percentage. Anthony Stolar is now up to an 83 as well, is the potential backup if something were to happen to Mason. Defensively, it's looking good. At least in terms of points, you'll notice the plus minus is pretty shaky, but in terms of overall, they're right there. You have Goddess Bear, Goddess Bear, Goddess B here. I'm going to call him Ghost. 87 overall now. One hell of a defenseman. Michael Del Zotto, an 85. Robert Hagg, second round pick for Philadelphia not too long ago, 85 overall. Kyle Quincy, an 84. Provorov, 82. Sanheim, 83. And Radko Gudas, an 84 overall. So between Del Zotto and Ghost, some pretty big point getters. The plus minus, though, again, looking shaky, but that defense easily has the potential to shut us down. And offensively, it's not looking much easier. They still have their same big players, Voracek and Simmons, both here still getting it done. Left wings, it's a little bit weaker, although Curtis McKenzie had a strong season for Philly, just shy of 40 points. Not too bad for what he is. And then, of course, Claude Giroux is still here. Kyle Turris is still here. Not gelling as well with Philly as he did with Ottawa when he was on a line with Shane Prince and Bobby Ryan, but still, he's a point getter. Scott Lawton has turned into one hell of a player. And again, I said it was the 5th time I've tried to do this. 2 out of the 3 more recent times, because I took a break in between days trying to record. The Scott Lawton basically has ripped us apart, so I'm very, very hopeful that he has a hard time this time out. When simming, I've never gone past Game 4. My errors have always popped up before then, so I can't say like, oh, we've been eliminated and I've just redone. Like, no, I legitimately don't know if our team is good enough to beat Philadelphia. They have a lot of good young players, and again, we have some injuries we're having to deal with, which brings me to what our team is looking like right now, and it's not going to be what you're expecting. As you can see, the top 2 lines still the same. They've been getting it done for us all season long, but the 3rd and 4th line is where we had to make some changes. We're going with a more defensive-oriented style. Blake Spears out of the lineup for now. If this doesn't work, of course, we'll have Marchand back and we'll make changes that we need to make. But in the past couple of attempts, this has worked. Brian Ferlin has been an overtime hero for me, and I wish I could have had that file and that sim to just show you guys what he did. He had 4 goals in 3 games, 2 overtime winners. He was an absolute, I can't even think of the proper word. Revelation. He was an absolute revelation for us. I'm leaving that in. Fuck it. But defensively, we're still the same as well with our big names, Hedman and Krug. Jason Demers, it's probably his last playoff series with us. Maybe the last one for Travis Hamonic as well. And of course, it's Tuukka Rask in net. But let's not waste any more time. I'm hoping, I'm praying that this is the one that will eventually see the light of day and actually make it onto YouTube. And let's sim Game 1 against Philadelphia. We have home ice advantage for at least the first round here. We didn't win the President's Trophy, unfortunately, but we have it for at least the first round. Let's sim the first period and see what happens, and fuck me. Okay, that is officially the worst we have done yet in the sim. Not a single person who views this will believe me that 4th line did as well as they were doing. We are down 3-0, 3 goals on 14 shots, 3 out of the big 4 names, Simmons, Couturier, and Jakub Voracek. Second period, we're going to turn it around, or we're not going to get a single goal. We are getting absolutely smoked, and I got to admit, I'm going to be pretty goddamn salty, considering there were times where we were up 3-1 in the series, and if this is the one that doesn't have a computer error or a capture error or anything like that, if this is the one that sees the light of day and we get eliminated in the first round, I am going to be one salty motherfucker. We lose 3-0, get shut out by Steve Mason in game 1. The 3 stars, pretty much who you would expect, and we fall in game 1 again. I am one salty motherfucker right now, but at the very least, it's only one game. Playoffs aren't one game. This isn't the NFL. We have time to recover. Heading into game 2, here's what the lines look like. Marchand is back to 100% health. He will be up on the third line with Senshin and Ferlin, who were surprisingly not on the ice for any of the 3 goals. It was all the top line guys who simply got outplayed. Those are the lines we are going to roll with. Again, I want to give these guys a chance to actually perform. And let's do this. It's time. Game 2. No, I'm not even going to say it. You know what? Fuck it. I'll say it. It can't be much worse than game 1. It could be, but I hope to God that it isn't. Let's sim the first period, get it out of the way early, and hopefully we get off to a much better start. Period 1. What's going to happen? And there we go. Much better. 2 goals. Joshua Hosang and Zachary Senshin gets his first NHL goal from a horrible angle on Steve Mason. We hold him to 5 shots. That is so much better, and it's the hot start we needed. Let's sim period 2. Not ideal. Wayne Simmons gets his second goal of the series from just dead in front. What did he Sparta kick Tuukka Rask through the back of the net and score in the process? What the fuck? So we got our asses handed to us that period. Obviously 15 shots against. Let's sim the third period, minute by minute, of course, and see what happens. We have gotten our asses kicked since the end of the first period, so pretty typical of a Bruins team to get the lead, take their foot off the gas, and as I say that, Artemi Panarin, our big free agent, or not free agent, but our big off-season acquisition, our big player that we got to score goals just like that, does it. We take game 2, 3-1, much better, and I'm feeling a little bit more confident. If we went down 2-0, 2 games to none, certainly would have been feeling the pressure and certainly would have been agitated. Like I said, knowing what this team has done in this series so far in previous attempts. And honestly, let's get right into it now. Let's get into game 3. We have 3 goals, so we're being outscored 4-3 so far in the series, but we're up 1, or we're tied 1 game apiece. Heading into Philly, game 3. A win here would be absolutely gigantic, as David Pastrnak hits Robert Hagg. Look at Pasta actually hitting. Let's sim the first period, and we get off to another good start. Artemi Panarin gets another goal just under 5 minutes into it, beating Steve Mason. Period 2. Can we compound that lead? We cannot. Again, we're being outshot, but the defense, knock on wood, is standing tall. Let's sim the third period of game 3. Can we hold on and take the lead in this series? Again, we have home ice advantage. We didn't make the most of it. And Dwight King, of all players, Dwight King gets the goal, tied at 1 apiece, down to the final stretch. 5.5 minutes to go. 4 minutes now. It's not looking like there's gonna be a winner, and there's not. Simulation is paused. Good, because I've had that skip over on me in the past. We're going to overtime. We're getting outshot. Little bit anxious. I don't know where Bergeron is. I don't know where Pasta is. We need the big guys to step up here and now. Let's go. Can we get an early winner? And please not give up an early loser. It's looking like this is actually going to go potentially deep in overtime. We're still getting outshot. Not what I like to see. It's not looking good. 7 minutes left. 6 minutes left. Are we going to double OT, or will somebody get a very late winner? And we are going to double overtime. God damn it. God damn it. Still being outshot, only by 9 though, so it's not horrific. But still, we need the big players to stand up. Rask, 42 of 43 in terms of saves. He's holding us in it. Somebody needs to step up. Let's start the sim and hope somebody steps up. And there it is. Of all people, Joe Morrow. Of all people, it's Joe Morrow in overtime from the high slot. Gets the game winner. We're up 2-1 in the series. Tuukka Rask, the hero of this game gave us every chance to win, and Joe Morrow scores the biggest goal of his NHL career and puts us up 2-1 in the series. And I was tempted at this point to maybe make some changes, maybe drop Brian Ferlin or something like that. We're just going to go for it. We've won 2 straight since we put Brad Marchand into the lineup, and hopefully from there, hopefully we can continue to really get this to go. I mean, this really needs to be it. And again, I've said it before, I'll really be kicking myself if, not making a move at the trade deadline turns out to be the wrong move. But here we go. Game 4. Knock on wood that we still have the footage. And if you're hearing this at this point, then hey, good, the footage hasn't corrupted yet like it traditionally loves to do in Game 4. But here we go. First period of Game 4. We're up 2-1. Let's see what happens. And nothing happens. We're outshot, but we don't give up a goal. Not too bad. Second period, let's see what happens, and we're still scoreless. Still getting outshot. 13 shots in 2 periods. Simply unacceptable. But again, Tuukka Rask holding us in it like we need him to do. Third period, let's go. The first goal is perhaps the biggest goal of the series, and on the power play, it's Claude Giroux finally getting on the board for Philly. Curtis McKenzie, and then Jakub Voracek, and we absolutely fall apart. The changes probably should have been made. 3 pretty damn quick goals, and again, for the second time this series, it's a 3-0 shutout for the Philadelphia Flyers. Very, very evident we need a bit more offense. And certainly very disappointing to have some of our top guys just really disappear. Patrice Bergeron has 2 assists. He's a -2. Pasta hasn't done anything. Zuccarello hasn't done a fucking thing. DeBrusk hasn't done anything. Ho-Sang hasn't been too bad. We're going to really need to take a look at these lines and really make a smart decision. And here you get a look at the lines heading into Game 5. Again, some major changes. We're going to keep the top line the same and just hope they can get their shit together. Second line, we're going to give Marshy the chance, playing with DeBrusk and Ho-Sang. Third line, Zuccarello, Spears, and Nikita Zhevpolov, who was very, very well-rounded in his attributes. The most well-rounded player we had available based on stats. Defense remains the same. Jason Demir is up to an 85 overall, which is nice to see. And of course, we're going to continue to go with Tuukka Rask. So here we go. Game 5 against Philly. It's a best of 3 at this point. We still have home ice advantage. We've made some changes that I can only hope lead us to victory at this point. The strategy that had worked in prior sims, like I said, of course, lost footage and tech issues, leading to those not being what you're seeing now. But hopefully what we've done can help lead this team to victory. First period, let's see what happens. Not too bad. Still only 8 shots. Again, being outshot by Philly. Not exactly what I'd like to see. Let's sim the second period. Hope for something better. And again, it's still scoreless. Again, still really low shot output compared to Philly. I'm not really too happy about that. And you notice, too, we haven't really been getting too many power plays. But let's do this. Third period. Who will go into Philly, into Game 6 with the 3-2 series lead? 13 minutes to go. Halfway home through the period, and it's Kyle Turris. Right as I was about to say, we're starting to equal it up in shots. Blake Spears, though, back into the lineup. Blake Spears may have just saved our season with a gigantic goal. We are going to overtime again. A difference in 8 shots, but Blake Spears gets a big goal when it counts. Let's do this. It's overtime again against Philly. The potentially series-deciding game. A gigantic power play finally expires. We're still getting heavily outshot. We need somebody. We need Panarin. We need Bergeron. We need Pasta, Zuccarello. Somebody step up. Hell, even the fourth line. Get it done at this point. And once again, we're going into double overtime. Still an 8-shot difference. Nobody breaking. Oh, my God. All right, let's just do this. Let's just do this. I don't even want to stall. I want to know who the hell is going to have the advantage, and it's Travis Sanheim getting the goal for Philly. Both games that go deep into overtime decided by a goal from defenseman Travis Sanheim gets the goal. It's 3-2 Philly in the first round. Tuukka Rask again giving us every goddamn chance to win this, and it's just not happening. The big players aren't getting goals. It's so incredibly frustrating. So incredibly frustrating to be able to see what this team has done in previous sims now to this point where just nothing is happening. Bergeron has 2 assists. That's it. Pasta has 1. This top line are 3 highest scorers that carried us all season long, and they aren't doing a fucking thing. So I've thought about it. I've pondered it. And we're going to make some drastic changes. First line, again, remains the same. They have to get their goddamn shit together. And for the hell of it, I'm going to put Panarin on his strong side just to see if that helps out any. Jake DeBrusk, Blake Spears, Joshua Ho-Sang is the new second line. Zuccarello, Fellhaber, and Zev Polofs. Now the third line, Mistele, Lier, and Senshin. The fourth line. Defense remains the same. We have sent down Brad Marchand. I'm sorry, EA's system is fucked. I sat him out 1 game just to make sure he was fully healthy, and his morale continued to decline. Even at the point where he was back in the lineup for 3 games, his morale is still declining. So obviously he just dropped off 4 points because I sent him to the minors. He is a victim of EA's terrible fucking morale system. It's not terrible, I shouldn't say that, but not what it should be. We've sent down Bleed, Randall, and Chaput as well. They're not getting it done. We're going with a more offensive-based fourth line because honestly, we have no goddamn fucking choice. Our backs are to the wall. We have to win in Game 6 to force Game 7 back in Boston. I don't know what the fuck to expect for this next game. I'm pretty damn pissed off that we just lost Game 5. Let's sim the first period, and Matt Zuccarello finally gets a goddamn goal past Steve Mason. We still can't outshoot Philly, but we get the goal. That's what matters. Second period, and there we go. There we go. Ask and I shall receive. We get some offense. Senshin again. We bring him back up. He gets the big goal. Blake Spears as well gets another big goal. We're up 3-0. This is the type of response that we needed. Braden Shen gets a goal back for Philly. Not too bad, really. We should be okay. I was hoping we get a power play goal there. That didn't happen. Can we get a power play goal here, please? No. But hey, would you look at that? For once, we're out shooting Philly. 5 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. This game is over. We forced Game 7. 3-1 final. And it's the young guys. Zev Polofs, 2 assists. Senshin. Zuccarello finally gets on the board. And Blake Spears, of course, getting a goal as well. Game 7 coming up. And I'm tempted again to make changes, but we won't fuck it up. We'll just go for it. The Providence Bruins advance. They probably get a nice boost from having Brad Marchand there. But here we go. It's Game 7. I didn't honestly think we would be forced into Game 7. I don't want to keep talking about the prior sims. Let's focus on the task at hand. Game 7 against Philly. Will Austin Czarnik's injury and my failure to make a move at the deadline come back to haunt us? If it does, we will absolutely be making another big move and going all out to try and win the cup next year. First period of Game 7 in Boston. Scoreless once again. Outshot. Not what I was looking for. Not the worst situation to be in, though. Second period, let's do this. That's also not what I was looking for. Claude Giroux and Voracek get the goal. Zuccarello scores, though. 10 shots down, 1 goal down. Third period, it all comes down to this. Will this team fail me? Will the big names, Bergeron, Pasternak, Panarin, Zuccarello's kind of rebounded, but will the big names fail me? Sean Couturier gets a goal, and we're fucked. We are absolutely dead in the water. A massive power play, no goals, and we are out again in the first round. Jesus, just God, how? with this team, how the fuck did that just happen? With this team, how did they fail? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Not to say they were the most well-rounded, but look at what the first line didn't do shit. Pasternak, 1 assist, -4. He had 64 points in the regular season. He did nothing. Absolutely nothing. 75 poise, does that have something to do with it? I don't even fucking know. Patrice Bergeron, 2 points, -4. He had his best season with us in the sim so far at a +32 with 59 points. 2 points in 7 games. Absolutely unreal. Artemi Panarin, only 2 goals. He was a -3. The top line absolutely fails us. Jake DeBrusk, he couldn't get it done. He didn't have the greatest regular season, 43 points. He couldn't do anything. Blake Spears, bless him, he fucking tried. Joshua Hosang outside of Game 1 and Game 2 didn't do a goddamn thing for us. Zuccarello turned it on down the stretch. Feilhaber gets 2 assists towards the end. Zhevpalov's 3 points. Mistele didn't do anything for us. Lié didn't do anything for Ascension. He tried, but it just wasn't good enough. And that may have been the final playoff series in Tuukka Rask's Boston Bruins career. We're coming up to a really big off season. We can't afford to keep Malcolm Subban down there for too much longer. And in terms of contracts that are expiring, we have some big deals that we need to make in terms of expiring contracts. 18-19 was this year, so Zuccarello is an expiring contract. Hosang, Panarin, Mistele, Lié, DeBrusk. Who else is UFA? Demers and Arneson. We might have to let both of them go. Demers is going for sure. Zarnik, unrestricted. Just got... Oh my god, I don't even know what to say, guys. I don't even know what to say. The injury to Zarnik completely disrupted the chemistry of this team, and we go down in a just absolute crumbling heap. Needless to say, big changes coming up in the next episode. I thank you all so much for watching this. It's another playoff disappointment. That's all it is, another playoff disappointment.